We're good? All right, bunch of thumbs up. Good afternoon. My name is Andy Kahn, Director of Victim Services, Victim Advocacy for Crime Stoppers of Houston. So I want to thank everybody for being here, our media partners for being here. This story has touched a lot of hearts, not just locally, not just statewide, but nationally. I've been around a long time. Some might even say too long. In my 30-plus years of being involved in the criminal justice system, I have never in my life seen a defendant released on multiple bonds for capital murder in 2 different counties. It used to be unheard of that you would actually get a bond for capital murder. Now, it seems to be routine. But 2 bonds for 2 capital murders? That's not going to go over. Capital murder is the only offense in which a judge has discretion. They do not have to grant a bond. And yeah, I get $1 million bond. You're not going to make that, right? But we already knew that Devon Jordan posted a $500,000 bond in November. So it was not out of the realm of possibility that he might actually be able to post the bond. Yeah, it's kind of unthinkable to the average citizen, but in this day and age, it's happening more and more. There should have been a no bond. This was a no-brainer for a no bond. When you look at his history that has been ongoing in multiple counties since 2019, I don't know how you can't come to the conclusion that he is not a walking, ticking time bomb that's a threat to everybody within a multi-county jurisdiction. Go back to Fort Bend County. You got an aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon charge, December 4th, 2019. He posts a $150,000 bond. Fast forward to Harris County. He gets 2 felony evading arrest charges, April 14th. The notes in the court documents say he is a threat to community safety. He gets out on bond, April 14th. Over a month goes by. On May 19th, Harris County Pretrial Services sends a bond violation report, May 19th, saying, hey, he's never reported. You do the math, April 14th to May 19th. Oh, and by the way, he's never had a GPS put on. That's 5 weeks. I guess they said you're supposed to come back to court. I don't know whether they actually located him or not, but the documents say you are to report to court May 27th, 2021. Do you know what happened on May 27th, 2021? That's the day that Joshua Sandoval was murdered. The same day that he was told to report in court, even though he hasn't done one condition. He hadn't even shown up. The same day. He's arrested for capital murder of Joshua Sandoval. He bonds out on capital murder. November 24th, 2021, $500,000 bond. Yeah, that's a high bond. But he's out. Meanwhile, back in Fort Bend County, his bond was actually revoked June 30th of 2021. Yet, his bond gets reinstated in Fort Bend County, November, the same day he posts bond in Harris County. I'm sorry, but if you're on bond for aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, you're charged with 2 felony evading arrests and a capital murder, that's not enough? I don't know what is. So now he's out. So finally, he gets charged the murder of League City businessman Jeffrey Johnson, whom everybody recalls because that case really resonates with everybody here because you're just going out to dinner. And you're followed all the way from the Galleria all the way to League City. That's a lot of following. You somehow managed to get in a gated community. Now you're charged with shooting and killing businessman Jeffrey Johnson. That, December 17th, 2021. $1 million bond is set. Again, unheard of, unthinkable. But again, you had discretion not to grant a bond. It's clearly, it's there. So you know, even though it's a high bond, you still say, okay, we'll give you a bond, even though you're on bond for capital murder, even though you're on bond for aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, and you're on bond for 2 counts of evading arrest, felony evading arrest. You had the opportunity to keep him there. This family, and I remember when they told me, and I said, well, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, I was wrong, and we're all wrong. So we find out, and they'll tell you how they found out. You know, there was no courtesy, you know, they just found out. So he is out now on a total of $1,650,000 worth of bonds in 3 counties. He was also, if you might recall, implicated in the Galleria organized crime theft ring as well. He is a ticking time bomb. There is no way anyone in the public is safe while he is out here. And what in your right mind do you really believe that someone is going to show up in court in Harris County and in Galveston County to face a capital murder charge with the potential of actually giving the death penalty or life without parole? Come on. Another interesting note, February 28th, 2022, the court states that the defendant must report to the 185th District Court in Harris County, where he was originally given the $500,000 bond, must report 24 hours if you do get released on bond in Galveston County, so that we can set additional bond conditions. I don't know what more you're going to set, because that was actually reset to April 28th. We feel it's imperative that the public be made aware. What's happened to this family, to the Johnson family, can also happen to so many other families. And that's a concern. And as someone who's worked with homicide survivors for 30 years, I can no longer tell anybody that there's no way they're going to make that bond. I can't give you that sense of security that I used to have anymore. And what kind of message are we sending out to the public, to the residents of Texas, Galveston, Fort Bend, and Harris County, that you can go and on a crime spree taking lives, robbing people, and you can still get out? I haven't been this angry, and I get angry a lot. I haven't been this ticked off in a long time. But yeah, this kind of resonates and hits home, and it should get a lot of people extremely upset because the confidence in our criminal justice system continues to erode when you continue to enable criminal conduct over and over again. And that's the message that our judicial system is sending out to the public, that they are more concerned about the rights of defendants than you, the rights of victims, and the law-abiding public. I'm going to have Joshua Sandoval's sister, Amy, come up and talk about her family and since what happened, which these found out. And, you know, and I'm still happy and honored to have met all of them, and they've become incredibly close to us. But I wish I never would have met them. Amy?
Hello. My name is Amy Castillo, and Joshua Sandoval was my brother. And just some things about Josh, he was amazing. Josh's light was diminished too soon because of the negligence of the court systems. Like Andy said, we can deny bond. And it was just shocking to find out after he was arrested for the Galveston County murder that it was $1 million bond, even though it is very high. Why isn't it no bond? Because of our broken system, Josh's life is being honored in other ways instead of at his graduation or his wedding. For us, he died at 28 years old. It is time for us to fight back. And the judges need to face the facts and wake up. No bond for repeat violent felony offenders. Because I can't bring my brother back, but I am here to help other people not face the same pain that we have been facing. Something I carry around in my purse with me as a reminder. This is a picture of me holding my brother's hand hours before we had to let him go, and I held it that whole time, and I was talking to him and, hoping that he could hear me. But I don't want any other family member to be here or here, and I carry this so that I can show people we need a change. Thank you.
Hey, Amy, how
Sir.
did you?
Hold on, we'll take questions. Yeah.
Sorry, Randy.
I always wanted to do that to you, so.
Many, many times I wanted to do that.
I'm going to ask Josh's brother, Omar, to come up and talk about his life and his legacy. And, and Amy's right. They don't want others to be in the same situation. And this is just horrific what we're seeing.
Hello, my name is Omar Sandoval. I'm the eldest of our brood, and Joshua was our baby brother. He came into our world very happily, and he spread nothing but joy his entire life. He could light up a room instantly with a smile, and his personality and just his energy and his warmth was just infectious. To know that our criminal justice system, especially here in Texas, is allowing for these repeat violent, extremely violent offenders to continue to be released and to continue to prey on everyday citizens that have nothing to do with them. But it's mind-boggling, and it's very unsettling that anybody would allow this to continue to happen, to allow people back on the street who have not once murdered, but twice that we know of, at least, and to allow them to be free to roam. And this is clearly a miscarriage of justice, a miscarriage of the justice system here in our country, and especially here in Texas, where we're supposed to be tough on the law. We're supposed to be tough on the bad doers. We have Governor Abbott even saying, trying to, crack down more on these no good people. But clearly, there's nothing being done to prevent that from happening again. Josh's light, like my sister said, is permanently extinguished, but a part of him lives on in all of us. And it's weird and sad and gross all at the same time that we're even here today, because it's still sinking in to me. And the 1-year anniversary of his death is coming up, and it keeps bothering me. It's on my mind every day now. And I honestly don't know what's going to happen. And for this to have been dragged on this long, and then for this case to be so convoluted, and then now to find out that this guy's back on the streets, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So my hope is that justice will be served. I am confident in that. However, the speed of this is clearly not as important to some people as it is to others. But for us here to be able to continue to speak on our brother's behalf, we will continue to do that, and we will not ever be silenced as a result of this, no matter what happens moving forward. So we will get justice for Josh.
Thank you. I'm going to ask for Joshua's mother, Glenda, to come up, and what it's been like for her as she continues her journey, and what it was like for her to find out what exactly why we're here today.
Things for me has been extremely tough. Joshua was my only son. I don't get a second chance to raise another child. He was the only one I had. For me to be dealing with this today, I'd rather be anywhere than to be standing here. Just to think that I'm really devastated. And the way that I found out this young man was released from jail, Vine was the one. I was just sitting in the living room, and it came up on my phone as a text message, and it let me know that he was out of jail. I was sitting there, and I was just devastated. And I just told the Lord about it. I says, well, God, it has to be in your hand. You know, I do understand that he has rights, but as a victim and my only son, I have rights too. And I was assured through the DA that because he was going to Galveston County, that he would not be getting out of jail. No chance of it. I am totally devastated to know he told me in Harris County, they're lenient here, but in Galveston County, they're going to hold him. And for him to be on the street today, I'm in disbelief. I'm shocked. I am.
We have pictures that are available as well, and again, I have the documentations of the $1 million bond, as well as everything else that's been documented on this case when he got out, all the Fort Bend stuff as well. I said, I thought, just when I think I've seen it all, I haven't. And this case clearly proves we got a lot of work to do. And somehow this message has got to get out there that we are not going to tolerate this anymore. I don't think this is going to be the last time we've ever heard of the name of Devon Jordan, just based on his track record and his criminal history. I just hope and pray to God that no one else ends up like both of these families. And you got to hope, you got to hang on to hope, but based on everything that I've seen in his history, somebody will end up paying the price for this. And just want to thank you, thank our media partners. The Chronicle's not here, so I can say media partners, so that's good. Any questions for anybody?
Who was the judge that issued these bonds?
Which case are we talking about?
Both cases, the Sandoval and the Johnson.
It was Judge Luong in the 185th.
Judge Long?
Luong, it's Leoung in the 185th, and in Galveston, it's Lonnie Cox, is it, I believe? Yeah, that's what the documents show here, so
Do you have the court number for the Galveston?
I'm sure it's up here somewhere. Yeah, it is the 56. Yeah, 56 court, right here's the $1 million bond, cause number 21CR4111,
And who's the judge in that case again?
Lonnie Cox.
Do you know anything about the bond conditions out of Galveston County?
Nope. Yeah, I have not seen it, but the last thing that was entered in the Galveston County basically indicated that, right here, that a case was held and allowed to be released. Right here it says, state's motion, this was yesterday, state's motion to impose additional bond conditions, result passed, not held. Status conference scheduled on May 3rd, 2022. Judicial Officer Lonnie Cox.
Is there, you had mentioned that, he goes back to, I guess, the 185th in April, right?
Correct.
Would it be, I don't know if you can answer this question or not, but would it be possible for that judge to raise the bond even higher to get him back behind bars?
That's a great question. I mean, I can't, I'm sure they're aware he's out. I'm sure they're kind of stunned like we are. I don't know. I would certainly hope so. I mean, I would hope that they could take additional action. I'm sure they were shocked as well. But we can't be shocked anymore. And here's proof. There's no guarantees anymore, even if you set, I mean, I've never seen it, and you guys go back, you've covered crime, a long time. Have you ever seen anyone out on $1,650,000 worth of bonds in 3 different counties? My memory says this is a first. And my memory also says that this is the first time someone has been out on multiple capital bonds in 2 different counties.
And there's,
Do you know what percentage of the bond he posted?
No.
and there's more than 100, right? There's more than 100.
You've got about 100, in Harris County, we know of 100, at least 110 defendants charged with capital murder who are out on bond. And again, that was unthinkable and unheardable a few years ago. Now it just seems to be routine and par for the
To
course.
your knowledge, is he the only one that has 2 capital murders?
The only one out on bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one out on bond.
Andy, the investigation shows that he was part of a robbery crew. What assurances are there with these bond conditions that he's not going to hook up with?
There's no, I mean, you can put bond conditions galore, you can have them, whatever, it's not going to stop them. My adage on any offender who's court ordered to wear an ankle monitor has always been an ankle monitor is as good as the offender who wants to honor it. If they want to honor it, it's the greatest tool in the world. But guess what? If they don't want to honor it, and you guys know it as well, nothing's going to stop them from removing them. This guy has violated his bond every single county, and I'm sure he's going to violate it in Galveston as well.
How he's able to get the money to post the bond, or who's kind of helping?
Good questions. I mean, that's, even if let's just say if it's 10%, that's what, 160 some odd $1,000 worth of bonds that somebody's,
So for the family, are y'all in touch with the Johnson families? Have y'all, or any of the other families who were affected?
We're
here,
not.
come on, join me.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what must be going through their minds today. Just like, Glenn says, you're sitting at home, and if they're registered for notification, I mean, it's not even, a human courtesy phone call, it's just this text. He's out. I can't imagine being the recipient of that, especially when you're told it's not going to happen. I mean, that's the ultimate sucker punch by our system. And have you spoke with anybody in Galway? Still to this day. No one has even reached out to, I don't know if they've reached out to the Johnson family, but I know they haven't reached out here as well, so.
Glenda, what would you say if you had an opportunity to speak to Judge Lonnie Cox in Galveston, what would you say to him?
Well, I would always flip the tables and the thing that I would say personally, if it was your family member, would you want them, not getting the justice that they deserve by continuing to allow this person to get out of jail and walk free when you have the choice to put a no bond on the individual? That's what I would say.
What about you, Amy?
It's the same. It could be your family member next, especially with him walking around, and he was already out on 2 felony bonds when he murdered my brother. So there is no stopping this criminal from doing criminal activity. Why would we keep thinking that he's going to do the right thing or they're going to do the right thing? It can be your family member. And that's what we're trying to say, because we never thought we would be here. I never thought that this would be how Josh's life would end. And it's crazy to think that you're safe because you're not.
I think the most disturbing thing about your situation is the day he was supposed to be in court is the day
Yes.
he allegedly committed the murder.
Yeah. So it's evil and it's insane. And the courts aren't recognizing that. So,
And
Could I
it
see
sounds,
that picture one more time?
yes, sir.
sorry, and it sounds, I mean, it has shades of like Savannah Pascal there, where
Yeah.
there's
Good point.
multiple counties involved with violent offenses. Is there an issue there? Is there like some, or do the judges have all the information when they're setting their bonds? Like, do they know that, you know, he had an offense in Fort Bend County? Did the Galveston judge know that he was out on bond in Harris County?
I mean, those are great questions. We keep on asking them. Where's the left hand, right hand? How could you not know this? But obviously, they must have known in Harris County because they actually stated if you are to be, you need to report. So, I mean, we do know that Harris and Galveston County knew about both charges. Fort Bend, I don't know about, but we do know that they know it. And, you know, going back again on his case, the fact that after he gets the 2 felony bonds in Harris County, 5 weeks later, you decide to file a report because he hasn't shown up at pretrial or GPS? Come on. Why are we waiting 5 weeks for that? I mean, there's so many, if you go back and just look at it, there was so many opportunities to prevent any of this from happening if our system would have been more proactive than reactive. Opportunities were there, opportunities were not taken, and these were decisions that were made that are going to haunt families for the rest of their lives. It's just mind-blowing to me, this whole scenario here as well. And I can provide you with the timeline that we developed on this so you can see for yourself on this as well. I mean, back in April of 21, the courts were warned he was a threat to public safety. And you know, I'm not exactly sure how old he is. I think he's what? 21. He's 21 years old, Devon Jordan. Do you think you did him any favors by continually releasing him time and time again? Now look, you're facing potential death penalty or life without parole. Did you do him any favors when it was pretty obvious he wasn't going to be a law-abiding, productive member of society, and you kept punting him out? And now look. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. Hopefully, this can be a catalyst for change so that other families won't do this. But this is about as bad as I've seen it in 30-some-odd years. So, any other questions or?
Just, I mean, what do you attribute this to? Because, I mean, this, you know, we hear about this. This is, you know, but you said this is the worst, but we're hearing about this in a lot of different cases, in a lot of different situations involving extreme violent crime.
I wish I had answers, Andy. I truly do. I wish that some of the judges would say, here's why we're doing what we're doing, without even talking about the cases. You don't have to talk about the cases. You don't have to talk about whatever. Here's why we're doing what we're doing. Here's why. You know, when we tried to get the constitutional amendment passed that would allow judges discretion not to grant bond to defendants charged with certain violent crimes, even the judges here said we need that, and it didn't happen. and it has to happen next session. So, I mean, I don't know, they have to answer that. I've not seen it like this, and I've seen it just about everything, but I've not seen what I'm seeing. Yeah. Anything else? All right, thanks, guys, appreciate you.
Thank you.
You bet.
And all those pictures.
And pictures, right, yeah.
Good?